with that. Okay, I'm going to take just some of the questions here. First of all, okay. So from Mudasir Khan, he likes to read the novels of Charles Dickens and would like to know how to make reading and understanding of novels more easy. Now, we've just spoken about graded readers, and that's one way to actually have novels that have been adapted and rewritten with fewer words. But if you are starting with, an original version, what any techniques that you can do to make it a little bit easier? So you don't get put off.
Yes. I think it's sometimes it's difficult to find a way into a book, but once you're actually in the book, then it's fine. And sometimes it's hard to know the historical context, who the characters are. So I think it's worth reading all the back of the book. What information does it tell you on the back? And also maybe watching, there are some really good TED Ed videos that can give you a bit of background, the same way as on the one of the steps this week, we've got information about Frankenstein. You could find a TED Ed video, I'm sure, about Charles Dickens and watch that first, and it'll give you a lot of background.
There actually is one on TED Ed about from the same series as the Frankenstein one. I think it's called something like, why you should read Charles Dickens, and it's really very good. It's a great way in. Maybe another thing is maybe reading a book that you've watched a film of might help as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think starting with something you already know in your own language, or if that's either because you've read the book before, or as you said, Neil, if you've watched the film. Because then you have a very good idea of the story, of the characters. So when you come across unknown words, it should be easier for you to move on and not get stuck with those potential difficult words, because you already know what happened. You can probably have a good guess. And then, of course, if we're thinking about things like today with e-readers, they often include dictionaries that can help you very quickly with looking up the words you don't know. But at the same time, you probably don't want to do that too much, because then you forget what you're reading because you're so busy, looking in the dictionary. So you have to balance these things between, reading for pleasure, accepting that you don't understand everything, and at the same time using it as a learning thing.
Yeah, and even things like, I guess things like not reading too much at one time, not trying to read too much. I'm trying to just, read a little until it gets to a natural break in the action or something like that, and stopping, maybe going back and working on it. Parallel text is another thing as well. I actually have, I used one for Breakfast at Tiffany's by Truman Capote in Czech and English, and it really helped me just being able to just, check over. Sorry, it really helped me just to be able to kind of work in it instead of like dictionaries, which I hate looking at words in dictionaries when you're reading. To be able to like look over and get the whole sentence kind of quickly, just to kind of get you past that obstacle.
I think it's important as well you don't need to understand every word. That's something important to know as well, isn't it? Just underline the ones that you think are important.
Okay, Svetlana Zamarina is saying, talking about crime novels, I like Rex Stout's crimes very much. They're my favorites too, Svetlana. I have all of them, every single book. Nero Wolfe, I don't know if any of you have read those. He's a famous, very fat detective. I don't know why I identify with him.
No idea.
There's some subconscious level, I don't know about it. But he's great, very, very good. It's a combination halfway between classical Sherlock Holmes type detectives and hard-boiled Raymond Chandler type detectives, because they mix it up together with two things. Okay. Natalina Sirigar saying, I like to read Winnie the Pooh, which I agree is a great way to start these things. Okay, interesting question here that I'm just going to comment on for a minute from Can.